Okay, so all the machines are down. Now we just have to set up filters and then set up an input and output, and we'll have it all up and running. Okay, so what we're going to do, I was actually doing some thinking, and because we've only got the 3 channels left on that controller, but that's fine. We've got enough channels that we can make this work. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set up the input and output. I think I'm going to have these setting... What if I had them setting like right over here, up against this wall? So we'll pull up that, and we'll just run, we'll run some network cables over to like right there. And then we'll set up storage crate, and then our last 2 connectors are going to go there. And then I'd like to name this, we're going to say OR input, and over here we're going to say OR output. Okay, and that's that. So if we come through, we can dump our ores right here, and then we can come back later and get them from the output, you know. And then eventually this is probably going to be connected up, you know, with another connector, you know, sitting on the side or whatever, and it's going to connect up to our drawer network whenever we actually set up a controller for that area. Because we do have that leftover controller, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is let's pop down to the IC2, or the controller area. We're going to be spending a bit of time in here. And first up, we need to find our input line, which will be right here, the OR input. And we're going to make a new channel on 3. We're going to say it's going to do items, create, and it's going to the OR input line. We're going to create a line right there, and we're going to say it's going to extract items, and we're going to say stack, and we're going to say round robin. Okay, because we want most of the stuff to round robin around to different, you know, to different machines. So eventually we'll have 3 macerators. So go ahead and round robin to each of those macerators so we can have everything running. You know, if say for example it's just a bunch of iron that we get or whatever, you know, it'll be a little bit faster that way. We're going to leave all this stuff alone. Leave that alone. Yeah, we'll be leaving all of that alone. Okay, so there we go. OR input, that's done. Basically just input everything that we dump in there and send it to macerators. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over to the macerators, and it would be this one right here. This is the one that's doing our biochaff. So this macerator right here on channel 3, we're going to go ahead and create, and we're going to say insert. And that's all there is to that. You know, just insert everything that comes out of there. And then from the macerator, we're going to make a 4th channel, and we're going to say that this is going to handle items, create. And this macerator that we just set up, let's go ahead, create a line here that's going to extract items from that macerator and round robin them. And once again, we don't have to filter or anything like that. Just everything that comes from the macerator, go ahead, take it out. And then we are going to insert this into our ore washing plants, which are these right here. So right here on channel 4, you're going to insert into the ore washing plant, insert into the ore washing plant. And then we're going to come back on the ore washing plant, and we're going to make a channel right here on 3 that says extract round robin and extract round robin. And the reason I'm doing this on channel 3, of course, we have the macerator and the ore input on channel 3. However, it's not going to be able to dump the stuff that's being, you know, like for example the crushed tin ore. It's not going to be able to take that purified or that cleaned, whatever it's called. Yeah, the purified. It's not going to be able to send it back to the macerator because the macerator cannot accept it. The nice thing about IC2 machines is they're only going to accept items that they can actually do something with. Nothing can do anything with the purified crushed tin ore except smelt it or send it through the thermal centrifuge. Okay, so we'll just go back to the channel 3 and extract on that line. And then what we're going to do is, let's find our thermal centrifuge. So right here, and we're going to put this on channel 3 as well. Because the thermal centrifuge cannot accept direct ores, like iron ore. You know, it can't do anything with that. It has to be macerated before the thermal centrifuge can accept it. Now, the thermal centrifuge, if you macerate something, it can go, the product can go either to the ore washing plant or to the thermal centrifuge. Either one. So that's why we're putting those on separate channels. Because, you know, it could take, you know, either one of those could take it. So on channel 3 then, we're going to say create, and it's going to insert into that thermal centrifuge. And then the thermal centrifuge is going to extract on channel 5, a new channel here. And we're going to set it to items, create, and we're going to create a line here, and we're going to say extract round robin. Okay? And that's because we don't want it to go back into the 4th channel, because we're going to have our electric furnace on this same line. So right here on channel 5, we're going to create, and we're going to say insert into the electric furnace. And we don't want the electric furnace going on channels 3 or 4, because it can smelt stuff from the ore washing plant. It can smelt stuff from the macerator. It can smelt stuff from the ore input. So then we'd have to filter everything, and it just makes it a little bit easier, because now the only thing that's going to be receiving is stuff directly from the thermal centrifuge. Okay, so before we plug up, because we still have to do the dusts for the compression, and we have to do, sending stuff to the actual output line. But let's take a look. This is the input. So let's pop over here just really, really quick, and let's grab ourselves like a little bit of copper, for example. Okay, and let's take it and let's dump it into the ore input. It should get pulled out. There we go. And you can see it got sent over to the macerator. It's going to macerate up our copper. So to make sure this whole little section works. And there we go. It gets done. It gets pulled out. And there we go. It's sent to the ore washing plant. Now the ore washing plant is going to take it a while to run. The macerator is going to finish up some stuff. That's why we need speed upgrades, in the ore washing plants and in the thermal centrifuges before too long. But there we go. It's not really round robining though, I don't feel like. So anyways, it just finished up some copper, and if we take a look here, there we go. Purified crushed copper has gone into here, and it's starting to heat up the thermal centrifuge, and this is going to continue running and getting us our purified copper. Yeah, it's not round robining at all at the moment, but and there we go. It's starting to heat up. You can hear the power kicking. It's not struggling at all. And you can see it's staying filled up. Yeah. But all this stuff is running, so. And there we go. It's heating up, and we're going to see it, or it's processing. It's going to finish out this. There we go. It just made some copper. Copper gets dumped in the electric furnace. And there we go. Okay. That's great. And then what we're going to do is, do we want to just plug this into the ore input? Do we want to do that? Instead of even having an ore output, do we just want to plug it directly into... I think I do, actually. I think I just want to have it go straight upstairs. Because the drawer controller is like right... Let's see. The drawer controller is... It'll be on this side. It's like right there. And I mean, I could have it... Let me pull off that pirate flag for just a minute. I could have it go straight up and plug into the drawer controller right there. It would actually make one thing a little bit easier too, to do that. So I'm just going to pull... It's going to be a big old mess. I'm going to have to facade like crazy through here. Okay, so the ore output, we're going to remove that, because we are not going to be using that anymore. And instead, I'm going to have to make some more cables. But we are going to run... One more batch of cables should do it, I should think. But we're going to run a connector over, and... well, let me make some more cables real quick so I can actually stand there. And then I'm just going to have to make a bunch of those facades between episodes. And once again, I mean, this isn't the fastest system in the world. You know, if you're already up to immersive engineering and you got the crusher and the arc furnace, like, that's fast. This is not fast. It's not fast by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, I don't have any gold. So what I'm going to do is... I'm just going to toss this in here, and I'll be able to show you how fast the induction furnace is over here. Okay, so if we throw this into the induction furnace, look at that. And it actually smelts two at a time. If you put like 2 items right there, it'll smelt both of them at the same time. It is very, very quick. And hopefully that's going to be the last ore that I run that way. Hopefully. Because after this, we're going to just dump all the ores into that system and just let it run. You know, for however long it takes, that's not a problem. It's all free power. It's no... it's not requiring anything of me. So, and by the way, you may notice that whenever I place stuff down, I get a little like split second of lag. That's a storage drawer thing. I need to turn off all these images, at least whenever I'm working on stuff in this area, because it's going to do that. I need to actually shut off those images while I'm working, but I just got to make the key, so I'll probably make it between episodes. I just, I recently started getting that little split-second lag, and I make such big drawer systems that I tend to run into that a lot. Okay, so we'll just plug that up, and there we go. And the nice thing is, of course, that's going to filter for us. So then let's pop back down to the controller, and we're going to say that the electric furnace is going to extract on, let's see, it's not going to be able to send ingots to the ore washing plant, so we're going to say it's going to extract on the channel 4. Extract, do what I say. And let's pop up over here. Let's make sure it's not sending stuff anywhere. Nope, it's just hanging on to those because it can't do anything with them. So then if we pop back down to the controller and we set the, right here, the ore drawer in, we set this to channel 4, insert, and then our smelter should have been able to dump everything out. So if we take a look here, there we go, the copper's gone. It's being automatically sent up to our drawer network. So there we go. I mean, that part of it is done. And so I'm going to go ahead and I can't dump everything in right now because the dusts that are in there are copper-based dusts. So actually, yeah, I shouldn't do that. Let me grab a little bit of iron. Let me grab a little bit of cobalt, tin, ardite, gold. I'm going to set up the first few of these on camera, and then I'm going to have to run other ores, and I'll set those up off camera because it's the exact same process. So what we're going to do is, let's see, the ore washing plant has the stone dust. I believe, let's pop up to the storage area. Let's take the stone dust and let's just put it in, like right over here by the glowstone. And then let's pop over to the controller. Let's see, the ore washing plants, that's where we're getting the stone dust from, is from the ore washing plants. And that was right here, they're extracting on channel 3. So channel 3 is also, what else extracts on channel 3? Ores, which don't have a place in our drawer system. And that's it. Okay, and that stone dust, all it can be used for is CF spray. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and ore drawer in, channel 3, create, and it can insert there as well. And that way we can insert the stone dust that's coming from this and just go ahead and dump it into there. So there we go, we have 10 of it in there. And I'm going to want to put a void upgrade in there as well, that's for sure. And really, really quickly, I was, from the macerator, I was round robining that, right? Oh, you know what? R&D isn't round robin, it's random slot is what it is. Order is what we need. Derp. So we're going to set that to order. The ore washing plants, we're going to set these to order. I forgot that it has that random slot. And then that's electric furnace. Thermal centrifuge, we'll set that to order as well. And then the input, we're going to set that to order as well. Okay, so that should be set now. Sorry about that. I was wondering, like, round robin was not working at all. Okay, so now let's pop back up to the IC2 area. And we're going to set up some filters here. So we've been running that copper, and we've been getting tiny piles of copper dust. So let's grab a little bit of those, and let's go ahead and dump in, like, gold next into there. And I'm actually going to go ahead and dump in, let's see, the thermal centrifuge has been getting tin. So let's grab the tin and the copper. And let's pop over to the IC2, or the controller area. Okay, and the centrifuge and the ore washing plant both, we're going to be filtering dust from both of those. So one extracts on 5, one extracts on 3. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pop down right over here to the auto-compressor. We're going to say create a channel on 3, and we're going to set it to, we're going to leave it on whitelist. And we're going to put in tin and copper dust. And then right here on channel 5, we're going to make another one, tin and copper dust. And the reason we're doing that is because tin and copper can both come from the ore washing plant as well as the thermal centrifuge. You know, it can come from both of those. And then let's pop back up to the IC2 area. And then actually, if we dump in these dusts into the small storage crate, they should get pulled out and sent to whatever compressor. Yeah, right there. He got a tiny pile of gold. XNet's actually picking up all the dust as one, you know, because it's got gold and silver, and all we've said is copper and tin, which makes sense, because if we pop down to the controller here, and we take a look at our compressors, do we want to match metadata in MBT or dictionary? Yeah, let's do that. Let's actually match that. And the reason being because I don't want it to, because this has a total of a lot of slots here, and I want to just do 12 per compressor. And that's just in case, so it doesn't ever back up, you know. I don't want it backing up on me. Because I should be able to run every single dust through the 2 compressors. And honestly, it's not going to be much over 1 compressor. So, you know, I figured this was actually a bit easier. I was originally thinking about doing the electric sorter, but this is just as simple, doing it this way. And then I'll run through the dust, and I mean, a lot of these dusts aren't even obtainable. Like if you take a look at, you know, tiny pile, our ore processing system is only going to be getting a handful of these. So astral star metal ore, we can run that through, but our system's only going to be getting a handful. So even if let's say we do manage to get like 24 dusts, all I need to do is set another compressor right here, and there we go. There's 12 more slots, because I'm thinking we're going to do 1 per slot that the compressor has. I think that'll be good. And then if we pop over, let's go ahead and dump in iron, tin, cobalt, ardite. Let's go ahead and dump all that stuff into there so that stuff can start running. And there we go. Did it? Yeah, see, it's still sending like all of one type. I don't really care. It'll eventually, you know, back up, because these things are so slow right now. It'll eventually back up and, you know, split them off. It's not a big issue, I guess. And the dust shouldn't get pulled out if it's not available already in there. Yeah, see, we just got iron. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to pop down to the controller. Okay, and I've got a few more dusts here. We've got ardite, cobalt, iron has come from those. So we're going to go ahead and slot iron, ardite, cobalt. It's really that simple. Okay, so we're already up to 7 different dusts. Still got 5 more slots in here, right? And, oh yeah, one more slot here. We need to add iron, ardite, cobalt. And there we go. It is now slotted in each of these. And then all we're going to do is this compressor. Let's see, the smelter. What is the electric furnace? What channel is that on? Electric furnace is inputting on channel 5. Okay, let's pop back up to the IC2 area. Let me dump all this stuff into there. You can see it's built up a little bit of tin, a little bit of copper. I'm actually running some other stuff right now. Yeah, there's osmium. I'm basically going through and I'm just running 1 of each metal. I've done iron, I don't know if I've done tin yet. Uranium, can we run that through there? Macerator makes uranium ore. Ooh, we can. And we get purified crushed uranium. And then we run that through, we get uranium-238 and tiny piles of uranium. Okay, black quartz cannot be ran through there, by the way. So we'll just set that one to the side. We'll go ahead and toss in like a little bit of platinum. You know, I'm just trying to run like 1 of everything at the moment. Or at least all, you know, 1 of each of the key ones that we're going to need at the moment. Yeah, there's a little bit of lead for us. Okay, so then what we're going to do, let's dump this stuff in here. And the way we're going to move the tin dust and the copper dust out. Let's grab a piece of that, let's grab a piece of that. And this is all going to just feed into this electric furnace here. Yeah, I'll probably just feed it directly into that electric furnace specifically. And then what I'll do is I'll have each compressor linked to a certain furnace, because it's not going to be producing dust just at such a crazy rate that I'm going to have like a bunch of different, you know, a bunch of different like ores backing up and stuff like that. It's not going to happen. So let's pop back down here. What we're going to do, let me go ahead and dump platinum into this list, which we are currently at, I think, 10. Yeah, we got 2 more slots in this before we have to stop Stop putting ones in this slot. Okay, so what we're going to do is our electric furnace, this right here, we are going to... Oh, that's extracting on 4. Okay, so what we're going to do here is our ore input right here, our little crate there. Right here on channel 4, we are going to make an insert line, and we're going to say tin and copper is what you can insert, and then every other dust thereafter we're going to put as an insert line. It's going to go to the storage crate, and then of course the storage crate has an extraction already attached to it. And so then what we're going to do is our electric furnace, we're then going to say that you can insert from that crate, or channel 3 specifically, copper dust and tin dust. So it's getting the stuff from the thermal centrifuge, but it's also getting the stuff that's being sent through back to the crate, to the ore processing line. Okay, so if we pop over to the IC2 area now, we should see that, oh, you know what, I didn't set that to extract though. Oops. Okay, but anyways, there's a copper dust and a tin dust right there. And if I was to, for example, if I dump these into there, they're going to get pulled out, and they're going to get sent right over to the electric furnace, because there's nowhere else that they can go, right? They can't be macerated. They can't be sent through the ore washing or thermal centrifuge or anything like that. They're going to get sent to the electric furnace and then right back up there. Okay? And then all I need to do is tell the auto-compressor to extract. Is really all I need to do. So, and I did put platinum. Yeah, I put platinum in there. So basically it's going to extract on channel 4, which inserts... you know, it's not going to be able to dump that anywhere else because nothing else can accept it. Like I already said, those dusts can't be accepted by anything except for this, which is already filtered. So it can only accept what we put in here. So then we're going to say create, extract, and there we go. That's it. So then we pop back up to the IC2 area, and there we go. That's done. Nickel and aluminum, and then we'll pop over nickel and aluminum. There we go. So that compressor's filled out now. It's got all 12 of its slots. Like I said, we're still going to have some more things, but we'll add them to the second compressor, and then it's really just the exact same process for plugging all this stuff up. Okay, I made one slight change right here. Since the round robin wasn't really working, it was just basically, it was dumping all the copper. I've been running some ores up there. It was dumping it all into one until it fills up. So I set both of these to only keep a maximum of 10 items in the inventory. So once it reaches like 10 crushed copper, let's say, then it's going to send it to the next one. And it's only going to keep 10 in there. It means the macerator is going to shut off, and it's only going to keep 10 in each ore washing plant. But that's fine. That's perfectly okay. Because if we pop up here, I mean, okay, this one has 7 right now. This one has 6. I don't know. Oh yeah, sometimes this will happen. It's not a big deal. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. It might. That's one of the worst things about these is they want to do that. If it becomes an issue, then we'll set up the electric sorter and just have it set up so that it just sends the 9 at a time that needs to go in there. But I don't think it's going to be an issue because this copper is getting processed and then it's coming over here and it's making more of that tin dust, and then it'll two more runs. It's going to process that tin, then all that copper is going to get shot over here and processed down. Just sometimes it's rare, but it does happen on occasion. So I don't think it's going to be an issue because then this copper is going to go over here. But it's counting that as the 10 items in this inventory is what it's doing right now. Okay, so this is going to finish, and if we take a look here, it's going to get that piece of tin, and then here comes all the copper. It's going to fill up, you know, on copper. So, and there we go. It'll keep the electric furnace kind of busy. And actually, if we pop over here real quick, well, I think we missed it. It should have gotten the copper, and it should have sent it over to the electric furnace. It's got the copper, but everything seems to be running good. I mean, like I said, it does start to back up right there, but then it fixes itself pretty quick. I don't think it's going to be an issue. If it becomes an issue, then we'll deal with it. But so far, it seems okay. I mean, if anything, I can just have it do, you know, maybe get rid of 3 of the items that come in here or something. I don't know. But if it becomes an issue, if it actually does start causing an issue, then we'll set up an electric sorter. But so far, this thing has been running for a little bit, and I mean, it's really only been running copper. Right now, it's almost ran through. This was a full stack of copper right here in this first slot. So I mean, you can see it's getting through the ores at a decent rate, because I mean, you're talking, it processes basically in the time it takes for the ore washer to run through something, it processes. Now the thermal centrifuge is pretty much what's going to back up, I think, first, but it's on a server. So, and this thermal centrifuge completes an operation every 20 seconds. So if I do an ore a minute, you know, it's still going to be fine, because I go to bed, I wake up, and all the ore has been processed. Now, right now, we have everything running through here, like all of the common ores that we've been getting. The only things that we don't have running through here right now is uranium. We'll get into that later, because we're going to be doing reactors before long. Thorium, boron, lithium, magnesium, all are very, very simple to set up. It's basically just setting up filters, just like we've been doing. I'm going to wait to run those until this big process of stuff that I actually need is done, and then I'll set these up. They only produce themselves basically in tiny piles. So, and then there's lead. Lead is slightly different, but it's very simple to do. Basically, if you run it through the macerator and then you send it through the ore washing plant, you get tiny piles of sulfur. The crushed lead produces copper, so that's not a problem. The sulfur, though, of course, the sulfur's not going to get smelted, so what we're going to do is we're still going to have it get sent to a compressor and get compressed into sulfur. But then what we're going to do is we're going to have the compressor also send to the drawers up there, and we're just going to have sulfur slotted, so it can send the, you know, sulfur and anything else like that that's like a dust that, you know, a dust that it could accept. We'll just have it sent up to the drawers. It's really not even that involved. All I need to do is slot sulfur and it's done. So, I may even have sulfur slotted at the moment. I'm not for sure, to be perfectly honest. I don't see it. It would be over here. I do have sulfur. It's just not slotted, which I don't know if it's going to make... I don't know if it's going to make that sulfur, or if I'm going to need to... yeah, it's going to make thermal foundations sulfur. Okay. Awesome. I was going to say, because there is an upgrade, an ore dictionary upgrade that we could use. And we're building up on stone dust, which is great. And if we take a look here, copper, good, because I literally had like I had no copper, no iron, no gold, no tin. I mean, I have a little bit, but it's not enough to really count. Got a little bit of lead, a little bit of silver, osmium, aluminum, you know, this stuff over here. But these four have just been being just devoured. So I didn't really have much of those. But by next episode, we should have a bunch of those. Anyways, I am going to end out this episode here. I know it's about wrapping up point. This is actually probably going to have to be a two-parter as well, because there was a lot involved with this, and it did take a bit to set it up. So it's not totally done. You know, I'm going to expand on the semi-fluid generators, and then expand on the machines. So we're going to have 3 blast furnaces, 3 macerators, 6 ore washing plants, 3 thermal centrifuges, 3 electric furnaces, and then we're going to do speed upgrades, overclockers, in the thermal centrifuges and the ore washing plants. Especially the thermal centrifuges, because I'm only running one of those. We are going to add some overclockers into those before long. Basically, once I get the power upgraded a bit, you know. And then we're going to change all of this over to... I don't know, do we really need to upgrade to HV? Because I don't think so. I don't guess we really need to, because it's sending it via packets. So really, MV cable would be fine for this, in truth. So I'll probably just leave it as MV, honestly. So, but I will probably end up having to split this episode into 2 parts. So I'll do like last episode, and we'll continue. You know, we'll split it and continue. So I'll do like the other episode when we were doing the deluxe chicken curry, and we'll do it in 2 parts probably. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys next time.